Good afternoon. I'm Ed Pozzuoli, CEO of Tripp Scott, and today we're going to talk about the Corona response bill that was signed by the President last Friday, the $2 trillion bill. And today we're going to talk specifically about the Paycheck Protection Program that was put in place by this bill for small business. Today we're here with Ian List, fellow director of Tripp Scott. Ian, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
So what's the Payroll Protection Program coming out of this bill?
The Payroll Protection Program is a program designed to help many of our clients, small businesses, with $350 billion of support and assistance for a variety of different expenses, the predominant one being payroll. What it's going to do for our clients and for anyone who's interested in these types of funds is it's going to provide a bridge, in my opinion, for them to pay payroll expenses for approximately 2 months, and that was what it was designed to do for small business.
Okay, so let's talk about small business. Definition of small business under this loan process is an entity that's 500 employees or less. But realistically speaking, in order to make sure that each one of our clients or anybody is particularly eligible, that's something that we have to look at, right?
Correct, especially when you take into account the affiliate rules that the SBA has put forth and that have existed for quite a long time in SBA lending.
And how would one go about applying for one of these SBA loans under this Paycheck Protection Program?
What we've been recommending is first they should contact us for some high-level guidance. Secondarily, they need to then go to their best banking relationship. It needs to be an approved SBA lending bank. There are a lot of them, and most of the banks that you and I know or bank with are SBA approved lenders. Go to that relationship. They already are aware of the desire for these funds.
So the small business owner is not going to go directly to the federal government. They're going to go to their bank, assuming it's SBA approved.
Correct, and that's what the government decided was the best mechanism to deploy these funds because it's already in place.
Okay, and then let's talk about the application process. How long are we anticipating, or how quick can a small business anticipate if they assume they applied on April 1st?
I think they can get the application process done in a week.
Okay.
This is all dependent on banks and the bank's ability to process the loans. As we stated, there will be a lot.
But there seems to be speed is of the essence here.
You are absolutely correct, and that's something that has been stated by the federal government. It's also it's my belief that they're going to make the process more condensed, make it a little bit easier on their banking partners, make it a little bit easier on those who are applying for the loans.
So we're talking relatively quickly, 3-4 weeks, or 4 or 5 months. What?
Optimistically speaking, I think you could see funds deployed in the month of April, assuming everyone knows their role and pushes forward in unison.
And does it cover all payroll costs?
It does. It covers all payroll costs, assuming that the loan amount was calculated correctly and that your business hasn't grown substantially, because the amount of the loan is based on a payroll period that dates back to February 2019 through June 2019.
Okay, so they're taking a snapshot of the prior year.
Correct.
All right. And is there anything else that this Payroll Protection Program covers other than payroll?
Yes. You're permitted to use the loan funds for expenses such as your rent or your mortgage, certain healthcare benefit expenses. So what we're trying to do here is we're trying to look at what the most important expenses of a small business might be and allow a small business to utilize these funds for that purpose. You need to isolate that, though, from the forgivability component.
Under a normal SBA loan setting, it's expected that the loan get paid back. Under this provision of forgivability, there's a possibility that the small business wouldn't have to repay the loan.
That's correct.
Does that limit what the small business can use the money for?
It doesn't limit them to using it for payroll. There is an enumerated list of expenses that you can use this money for. However, the forgivability is based on retaining employees.
I see.
So if you wanted to use all of it for your mortgage payments, yet you had other funds you were willing to utilize to retain all of your employees, great. And when I say all, there actually is a very complicated formula that's put into place here, and it will likely be something that we will look at a lot in the future for our clients because I expect a lot of them to take these loans.
I realize there are a lot of details and that our viewers should consult whomever they need to consult, whether it's us or their accountant or whatever. But assuming I wanted to not only get the loan, but I wanted it forgiven, and so I didn't have to repay it, would that require me to retain the employee for a period of time that I'm making the payroll on?
Yes. Okay. In a general sense, the employees, the pool of employees, they're going to look at a metric. They're going to want you to be very close to 100% of the snapshot they took in time for a time frame moving forward from the date you receive your SBA funds.
So this is a key condition of having the loan be forgiven, that you have to retain essentially the group of employees that it was directed at.
Correct. There are strings attached.
Okay. And let's talk a little bit about, is it just corporations, small, sub-S corporations, or what?
No, they made this program applicable to a very wide body of applicants. Sole proprietorships. We have everything from a couple people in an organization to 500. So the applicability is broad-based. I think our clients and a lot of folks I've spoken with are very excited about that because there wasn't this exclusionary intent in passing this $350 billion program.
How much can someone borrow?
The borrowing limitation actually has been raised. Traditionally, you would have a lower limit. Here, it's $10 million. It's based, though, like I said before, on a snapshot in time. What was your payroll between February 15th, 2019 and June 30th, 2019? Pretty specific. You then would look at the average monthly payroll within that window and multiply it by 2.5.
Gotcha.
That's your loan amount.
That's your loan amount. And if any of our viewers had any additional questions, what could they do?
I recommend two things. One, contact us. Contact your counsel who is knowledgeable in SBA lending in general, and lastly, the bill that was passed. Then you need to contact your best banking relationship, or you need to lean on resources like us to help you forge a banking relationship that's actually going to be able to push the paperwork forward. That's key. And we started doing that last week for clients.
Okay. Ian, I wanted to thank you in these extraordinary times. I really do appreciate it. It's very valuable information to a lot of our viewers. Everybody, please be safe, be positive, and test negative.
Thanks.